What is up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. So I know it's been a little minute since I dropped the Pride look. There has been so much going on, so I had to handle some stuff, but we're back to the videos. And basically this video is going to be me doing a lesbian Pride makeup look, and the colors are basically pink, this not even burgundy, but it's a deeper pinkish color, and then orange. So I decided to just play with these different colors. I had this vision. I was I really want to do white brows because I honestly love blonde brows. So I feel like white brows just makes sense because it's basically just the non-pigmented version of the blonde brows, because it's just the difference, the lightness of the brow I feel just eats with some of the looks I do. So that's kind of why I wanted to go with a white brow, and that was my main goal, because I had ideas in my head, and I was I feel like the white brow will balance off everything else, so I can use the colors more around my face, and I don't necessarily have to focus on using white around my face, even though you will see me add some white pearls later on. But I'm taking my Pat McGrath concealer, and I really like this concealer, and I like the foundation too. I just try to switch everything up every now and then, just depending on what have I been using recently. So yeah, I decided to use that concealer, and since I'm not gonna do anything too crazy for my eyeshadow look, I decided to just use concealer for my eyeshadow base. And after I clean up underneath my brows, I just apply concealer on my eyelid area, and I make sure I blend it out as evenly as possible. And you see me using this brush because, girl, my brushes was almost all dirty, so I had to just make some shit shake. And I'm just setting this with this setting powder from About Face. This is the Finale one. It's a light pink color, and I just decided to use this just because I knew I was going to use it on my face. So I was might as well, I wasn't trying to use too many different products. So once I actually set my face pretty well, it's time to go in with this eyeshadow. And this is the Fiery 2.0 palette from Beauty Bay, and I'm taking that orange shade. I love these Beauty Bay palettes. I feel they're really affordable, and they're pretty pigmented. These are probably some of my favorite eyeshadow formulas that I use on a consistent basis. And basically I'm just blowing out the orange. I really didn't want to do too much, since I knew I was gonna be doing this graphic design all over my face. I didn't want to take up too much time with the eyeshadow because I already knew that it was gonna take me a second to do the rest of the look, and I was right. It took me a second to finish the rest of this look. The fact that this video is under 15 minutes is crazy, because, girl, when I tell you, it was so much footage, and I had to just cut shit out because I was girl, ain't nobody finna sit here and sit for that long watching this video. But once I get that eyeshadow blended above my crease and in my crease, I decided to just go ahead and make sure I got it on my eyelid. And I decided to use this white shimmer from the Love is Love palette from Lesbian Beauty. This is one of my favorite palettes, especially from the Lesbian Beauty, but in general, I feel the shadows are so pigmented. Her shadows are always just chef's kiss, but also the highlighter in there is one of my favorite highlighters. But as you see, I didn't do anything too crazy for the look, and then I'm just going to go ahead and align my top lash line with this black liquid liner. I love using a black liquid liner instead of a felt pen or something. It's just easier for me to personally work with. And this is one, I believe, either that was my Essence one, or no, that's my Ulta Beauty one. So Ulta Beauty has liquid liners. They're the Color Punch liquid liners, and that was in the shade Onyx. And I'm going to go ahead and use my Melania Anti-Gravity Mascara to go ahead and do my top lash mascara. And I'm taking the Bulk Balm in the BB17 from Made by Mitchell, and I'm cleaning up my top brows. I like to use a shade that's similar to my foundation color to clean up above my brows, and I decided to just use that one because I don't always use that one, but it's one of my go-to. And then since I was already using the Pat McGrath concealer, I had to go in with the foundation. And as you see, I'm using this fat ass brush. I actually like how this brush works. I just don't normally use it, and that's how you know my brush collection is dirty and I need to wash brushes. If you see me using random brushes that you never see me use, yeah, that means I ain't got no brushes clean. So I'm just trying to make shit shake. So I guess I was just distracted when I was doing this look, because why am I doing my bronzer before I do my concealer? I never do this, so this is so out of order. But anyways, I'm taking the Power Bronzer from the Lesbian Beauty. This is in the shade Deep, and I love this bronzer. I've hit pan on it. I don't have that much left, but I have enough to last a couple more looks. So I probably will be restocking because I actually really love the bronzer. It's one of my most used bronzers, as you can tell. But I'm just blending out the bronzer all over my face, trying to make sure it's even, and trying not to keep that harsh line, if that makes sense. And then I wanted to go ahead and blend out that bronzer on my nose, and I usually use the eyeshadow eyeshadow brush because that's easier for me. And here I am finally concealing my face. I'm taking that same concealer I used above my eyes or for my eyeshadow base, and I'm placing in the areas that I normally like highlight, and I'm just trying to make sure I have enough coverage. Like, I didn't need too much concealer or too much going on because half of my face will be covered up with like random designs and stuff. So like, I don't go out like full out like that when I do certain looks like this, because I mean, why? Because like half my face is gonna be covered up, and I just want to make sure my face is beat, like I have a neat beat. What that dude say, it was a TikTok sound. He was like, I love bitches that be in their room having a neat beat, eating that shit up. Like, yes, girl, that is what I be doing. Like, I love doing my makeup. It's really just a form of like creativity and a form of expression, and it's just something that I just love to do. I know that a lot of people don't realize that I am an artist. All those pieces in my background, or besides the Coraline little house, all of those are my original art pieces. So, you know, I love to see it. But I will be posting more art content. I'm just trying to get back in the groove of everything, you know, since it's a summer break. I'm trying to focus on a lot of art pieces. Now I do have some that are going to be like basically done pretty soon, hopefully by the end of the summer. So we'll do like a whole video once I finish all that stuff. But I'm going in with that setting powder I use to set my eyeshadow base, and I'm trying to make sure that I set everything really like neatly and like make sure it's blended well. So whenever I set my face with my like setting powder for my highlighted areas, I dip the brush in. Well, first I pour some of the powder in the top of the container, and then I dip my brush in, tap off any excess, and then I apply it, and I just go back and forth with that, just because like I feel like if you dip the brush and you just put it automatically on your face, sometimes certain areas will get more product, and sometimes when you're doing makeup, like that pastiness can like ruin certain things, or it can mess up how you have things applied on top. So that's why I just try to make sure I dust off any excess so it's evenly on my brush, and that's the best way for me to do it. This is something I've been doing for like the last year, so I definitely did not do this before. Like, I did not do all these different setting powders, all this. I did not do that, and I love to see the growth. But anyways, I'm taking my one size made for shade Trio, and this is in the shade Deep, and I usually use that one in the middle because I like the like red like undertone in it. The one below, she's cool, but it's a little bit more cooler in tone that I like. I like to have a golden or a neutral, like maybe red if I have to, base, and then like when it comes to like my contour or my bronzer, I like to go with a warmer shade, and my concealer is usually like a golden or a neutral shade. Those are just the favorite things I love on my face. And then I'm just setting my face one more time, and then I'm going back in with that Fiery 2.0 palette to blend that orange underneath my eye. And I feel like this just helps like blend the eyeshadow, make it look a little bit more seamless. Also, my under eye area creases, and I feel like adding the eyeshadow underneath my eye actually helps it from like not creasing as much. So I have this like blush from Glisten Cosmetics, and I've had it for a little while, and I've barely used it, but I realized why I wasn't using it, because girl, where was the shade? Like, it was not there. Like, I hate to see it, but I decided to just go in with my Desperate Beauty. This is the Blurring Balm Flush, and this is in the shade Golden Hour. That's that orangey shade, and I want to do orange once again to kind of go with that color scheme, and I want to do like the pink too, just to tie it all in. And the pinkish shade is called Prima Donna. I love these blushes. They're so pigmented, and I believe they dry down matte, so you don't necessarily have to set them, but I always set everything on my face, so you know, it's just a habit at this point. And I'm taking that Juvia's Place Blush palette, and I'm just adding that orange blush to the orangey areas. And I don't wear orange blush 24/7. Like, I'm more of a pink blush girly, and I'm going in with my Made by Mitchell. This is like the the Face of Art or something like that. It's a blush book. I don't even know if it's still like selling anywhere, but yeah, I just add that to the areas where the pink is, and I just use my foundation brush, the setting powder one, just to like blend everything in before I set it with that hydrating spray again. And now I'm going in with my shadow stick from Kill the Lights. I'm going in with my About Face shadow stick and Kill the Lights, and I like to have like that black eyeliner underneath it. It just gives a sultry vibe, and I like this one because it's a little bit bigger, so it's easier to apply. And I'm going in and adding that mascara. I use a lengthening mascara underneath my eyes, and now I'm going in with that Love is Love palette. I told you I love this palette, and my favorite highlighter out there. Like, I tried to break it, or I was trying to get some out because I was trying to separate it for something else, and girl, when I tell you all of it broke and I like lost all of it, I was so sad, because the Mesmerized Beauty, this has been out of stock for like months. Like, mind you, it dropped last year, so I don't think it's ever coming back in stock, and that makes me want to cry. Like, even if she just did the highlighter by itself, I would buy that, because that highlighter eats, and I would buy the duo because they both eat in there. So I decided to add some white rhinestones to my eyebrow, because why not? I always add stones to my eyebrow slit. And now I'm done with like majority of my makeup. I set my face with that setting plate from Scratch by Cat, and now I'm going to go in with these Mesmerized Beauty Color Fix to basically create like the little designs on my face. And I use these disposable hand palettes on the back of my hand. It makes it so much easier whenever I'm doing my makeup, because I just literally just like rip it off, and then like I don't have anything on there on my back of my hand except for when I go over the area. But yeah, I just mix it, and then I'm over here just free flowing. I feel like it's easier for me to do designs like this on my face because, one, I've been practicing for so long, but two, I'm also an artist, like for real. So I feel like certain things I like have the technique on paper, so it's just like it takes practice for me to do it on my face. But the more I practice, I feel like the better I get. And for this like pinky shade, I decided to use a Trixie Cosmetics Play Pigment, and I believe this is the shade Finisher. It'll be down in my Instagram like bio, or my Instagram post for this look, so definitely check that description box for that. And now I'm mixing this orangey shade because I didn't want to just do the like straight out orange, so I wanted to make it like a little bit glowy in a way. Whenever I do my looks like this, I kind of just like free flow and just like do whatever designs I feel like makes sense. And I want to be even more extra, so I took these like pinky like charms I had from Manic Gems, and I added lash glue to the back of them, and I basically like applied them on my face. I did hold most of them down for a little second, but I didn't want to put all that footage in, so that's why there's so much footage missing. But yeah, I like using random gems on my face. I feel like it just makes like makeup fun. And I decided to go back in with those white pearls I used in my brow, and I'm just adding them around my face to tie the white in a little bit more. And plus I felt like my face just needed something a little bit extra, even though I have like all this other stuff going on. But when it comes to me adding rhinestones to my face, I feel like the easiest way for me to do it is to put the lash glue wherever I want the rhinestone to go. I put a little bit of lash glue on the back of my hand, and then I take the bottom of the spoolie, dip it in that glue, and then I pick up the rhinestones head first. So I feel like that's easier because then I can just put the back, like the back is facing up, so I just place it directly on my face. But yeah, that's how I do that. And now I'm going in with this lip whip from Beauty Bakery, and I just decided to do a solid lip, or a solid lip. I was going to do an ombre, but I was like, you know what? No. And now I want to be extra, so I added even more gems to my eye area. These are like these like pinkish like baby girl like rhinestones, and while like my lip is drying, that's why I decided to do that, because I like to multitask. Like I'll do a step, and then if that needs to dry or it needs to set, then I'll move on to something different, because girl, I'll be here for like forever doing my makeup. And then I'm setting my face one more time before I'm almost done. I'm going in with my INV Feline Vibe lashes in the style 4. These are my favorite lashes, like one of my favorite lashes, honestly. I always restock, and I honestly need to go get some more because I don't have any more left. And I'm just taking this glitter glue from Genuine Cosmetics because I decided to do a glitter lip, and I haven't done a glitter lip in forever. And I'm just like, be honest, be careful when you put glitter anywhere on your face, and make sure you're using cosmetic grade. If you're gonna do this, be mindful that like some of this might get in your mouth, and I don't think that's really safe, but I be doing it for the look. I just take my L's, but do it at your own risk. Ariel ain't tell you do nothing. Do it at your own risk, okay? And now I'm putting on my lashes. I like to let my lashes dry for a little second so they get a little bit tacky, and then this is what the final look looked like. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any video suggestions, please let me know, and I will talk to you later. And bye. Happy Pride Month and happy Juneteenth.